Welcome to the United States. We are back from Ecuador. Cynthia and we've been on the boat. We spent a couple of years fixing the boat up. We bought a sailboat with the idea of so it would be completely self-contained, so we could cruise and need very little. And we cruised the Bahamas for about 6 months, and the East Coast for eight months, 10 months. And we decided that we were done sailing. We bought a car. I bought a turbocharged Subaru, and we did 4 trips to North Carolina mountains, my favorite being Waynesville. And we thought, well, let's go see if we would be interested in living in Ecuador. So we spent 31 days in Ecuador, drove 2,500 kilometers. The Enterprise person was amazed that car came back in such good shape, and rightly so. It's the people there are crazy, but it was amazing. But just as in the Bahamas, we have the latest and greatest iPhones, and we use those as our cameras, but they don't do anything justice. They don't do the colors justice, the grandeur justice. You don't really get a sense of just how incredible the things you're looking at are. But that's what we used. So my favorite towns in Ecuador were Cotacachi in the north. It's about 8,200 feet, maybe 8,600 feet. It's a small town, very lower pace, very clean, looked very prosperous. The negative with small towns, you may not have the conveniences you're used to as an American. My next would be Baños. The negative with Baños is, again, it's a small town, stunning. I liked it more than Cotacachi. It's a little valley with mountains all around it, straight up mountains all around it. We'd have breakfast at 8,000 feet looking down on Baños at 6,000 feet. Again, it's small, so you have limited resources there. The other negative is 1-2 lane road in or out. You have an active volcano on the outskirts of the town. And when we came into Baños the second time, Baños is a very popular tourist place for Ecuadorians, and it was a holiday. So about 10 miles outside of town, it was bumper to bumper traffic, 5 miles an hour for 2 hours. And yet a car behind me managed to, I don't know how he got going so fast, but he hit that car, never put his brakes on, ran over the car with his right tires, passed us about 3 feet away with his right tires over the top of our coach. And 30 feet away, the car landed back down and he stopped. These people are crazy. Probably the most metropolitan and very nice, looked very not modern, but it looked clean and prosperous, was Cuenca. It's also, what I could find, the only city in Ecuador where you can drink the water. A lot of American women won't like the fact that in Ecuador you don't flush toilet paper. All toilet paper goes in a little, like a toilet paper holder, it's a little trash can. Cuenca has everything that you need, as from cars to anything. And Cuenca is where Cynthia went to see a girl doctor. He was a surgeon. He was with her for about 45 minutes. I thought it was $30. She said it was $35 for the appointment. When we were in Ibarra, we went to Cynthia's dentist. We had our teeth cleaned. It was $20 a person. They don't force x-rays on you. They don't force you to see a dentist. I went to get my teeth cleaned. Cynthia hadn't had a haircut in 2 years, so she went to get a haircut in Baños. And they did a great job. Completely reshaped it. Took her time. $5. It's different. It's a very low-key pace in Ecuador, which suits my personality. They're always glad to see you, always glad to help. Breakfasts consistently with fresh juice, fresh coffee. Their coffee is better than ours. They produce it there. And this time, unlike the other trips, I got drip coffee versus instant coffee. They don't have half and half, and they have a hard time understanding. Just give me a little bit of milk to put in my coffee. So that never went well. But breakfast would include eggs, toasted bread, fresh bread with cheese and ham, a roll with jam and butter, juice and coffee for $3.50. Lunch would be pork chop. They have the most amazing vegetables, but they don't eat them in restaurants. You get lots of white rice. You get potatoes or French fries with the white rice, fried plantains, a thimbleful of salad, but including a drink. That's $3.50. Our last stay at an Airbnb in Banos, which was awesome Airbnb, cute as it could be. It was $38. The morning that we left Banos, I sat outside drinking my coffee about 7 in the morning. It was 55 degrees. I got to look over 5 or 6 different mountains and a big waterfall. It was just spectacular. After 31 days of driving with, we averaged about 30-35 miles an hour in the mountains. You can't go very fast. Quito has a big 8-lane road just south of Quito for a short while. There you could go 60, but mostly it was very slow. But lots of potholes. As you go further south, you've got, we had landslides, rock slides, pieces of roads missing. The drivers never stopped. They amaze me all the time. But again, there's no reason for, and to tell you the truth, of all the YouTube people I follow and the blogs I follow, no, I'm the only one that drove. They all took taxis and buses because they're so cheap. But I can't see not driving in Ecuador or anywhere. But when we got back from Ecuador to Miami, when we got off the plane, stepping into the little tunnel to take you to the terminal, God, it was already so hot. And we got a water and a tea, and it was $9. And then we got a foot-long sub we split, and we split a drink. It was $20. The next morning, we went to Waffle House, where I got a mid-grade breakfast and coffee, and Cynthia got a breakfast and orange juice, and with the tip, it was $27. You don't tip in Ecuador, and the people are glad to see you. They just treat you, they're just glad you're there. They're glad to help you. Everything is different. In 2 weeks, we're going to go back up to North Carolina to Waynesville, and I've been looking at some mid-grade Airbnbs just because things cost what they do, and it's $120 a night versus $40 to $50 a night in Ecuador. We got Cynthia's mom health insurance. They have a very good medical system in Ecuador, and I think it's better than the United States, where I feel like in America we're no longer patients, we're customers. But her health insurance is $90 a month. It includes medical, dental, and eyes. It has a $100 deductible. That's it. The cost of living there is fractional. You could rent $1 million house for $700 a month. Everything is fractional, except for anything imported, cars, anything electronic, anything that's imported. The government just sticks it to the Ecuadorians. My $45,000 turbocharged Subaru is $70,000 there, and it's depowered. It's just, I don't know, they make everything hard for the Ecuadorians, but it was just amazing being there. And I'm still trying to talk Cynthia into moving there, and because Cynthia is Ecuadorian and been here for over a year, we could export our car, import it to Ecuador. But in a couple of weeks, we'll go for a week or two to another Airbnb up in Waynesville, just start look around, since Cynthia doesn't want to live in Ecuador because she said I like to drive too much and the people there are crazy. They scared the living snot out of her every time we went driving. They do the craziest things that you and I, we don't see, nor would we believe anybody would do. They're a danger. But you don't have to drive there. It's everything you need, because the towns are set up for people who don't drive. Everything you need is walking distance. You don't need a car, nor is there easy places to even keep a car. In town, there may not be parking spaces for you in garages, and if they do, they're not very good. But anyway, I think our best videos are coming. There'll be 2 videos on Banos and 2 videos on Cuenca. We stayed in 3 different places in Cuenca. Cynthia, after the 4th Airbnb, she was done with the mountains. She was just too dangerous, too scary. We had the single track roads that had multiple houses on it, and if you came to a car, what are you going to do? You know, somebody's got to back up a really long way. The last place we stayed, when you turned off the main road to go on the side road to take to the house, you couldn't see the road. So I had to get out to see if there was a road there, and there was. But when you make your turn, and it'll be on one of the videos coming up, for like 6 seconds, you don't see a road, any road at all in there. You just see sky. Because it's so steep, such a steep drop off, and it's a hard drop. And likewise, going up that same road, when you got to the top for 5 or 6 seconds, you don't see cars, you don't see roads, you just see your hood and the sky. But after that, we started staying in town. But I love the mountains, and I loved the whole experience of being in Ecuador, the volcanoes and the scenery, and it was just, and the people were amazing, and the temperatures are just it's always air conditioning. You don't need a heater, you don't need air conditioning. You need to know some Spanish, otherwise you're going to be very frustrated. I married an Ecuadorian who speaks perfect Spanish, and she handled our money. They use the US dollar, so that makes everything real convenient, real easy. But coming up will be probably 4 more videos in Ecuador, and then probably 1 in Waynesville. And I'll continue to try to get Cynthia to think about moving to Ecuador, but she said the drivers were just too crazy for her. She just couldn't stand driving with those people. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you thought it was informative, and keep up. And we'll put some more videos up soon.